Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Krankendau bringing you some more Cosmonarchy, and I hope you're ready for it, because we got Krankendau in the top right, up against George in the top left. It's Realignment is the map. It's a Port of Attitude, a recent ASL map. And obviously George playing Protoss isn't as weird as Krankendau playing Ascozy. He played all the races to try to help people practice for Acropolis 4. Rather, I should say George playing Protoss is weird, where Krankendau playing Ascozy is a little bit more normal. The Lattice first here as well is very interesting from George. We'll see what he wants to do. He's been playing against Alexander, who's been moonlighting as Terran. So maybe he's just like, yeah, I'll also change a race, see what's up. So I was told to check this game out, check some of the games out in general of Protoss featuring maybe the new Atreus. So I'm assuming that's going to happen in this particular game. And of course, I'm definitely looking out for more Zerg games, because we got the Hydra model, the Zeth model, all sorts of cool stuff there. So if you guys are excited about the new models, you can thank Balethal and Solstice as well, helping out with shading and maybe some animation advice and stuff like that. So big ups there, and very excited to see some more custom models make our way over. Eventually, we will even have high-quality custom Ascozy models, not just the kit bashes I can do. So I'm excited about that too. We will have Krankendau going for a double Radix here in the top right, whereas George just making Lattice into idle like he's playing PvZ. I wonder what's going on here. Well, Grand Library. Okay, well, that tells me it's probably Atreus. Let's see what happens. You can see Pilgrim wandering around here for Krankendau, trying to scout things out, see what's going on. If you guys enjoyed the grudge match between the Shambler and Siki, I haven't actually, I'm casting this beforehand, so I don't know the results of that, but you know, maybe we can look out for more grudge matches in general. But you know, even if it's like friendly rivalries, I think we can still brand that. You know, specifically pick out a show match of the community matches, community show matches, and see what we can do there. I think that would be really fun. So if you guys got pairings in mind, let me know. See what you think, because that's a little bit different than just having like an open sign-up tournament or what have you. You know, Grandstand being power belt here at the natural before the expansion, interestingly, and we will have the Radixes making Cardinals. Ascozy has struggled versus Gateway Toss for a while, but this not being Gateway Toss should actually free Krankendau up once he actually scouts what his enemy is doing. Problem is, his Pilgrim's in the bottom left. He knows where his opponent is, but he doesn't know the build. So he has no idea. He's just assuming, okay, it's probably Gateway, because that's what Protosses do. He probably doesn't even have a sense that it would be Lattice. But we'll find out. I actually don't know how many games they played, so maybe he's used to this by now. Power building the Landlock at this point. Getting the Cardinals with only one missionary to back them up, so kind of an interesting choice there. Cardinals were changed after Acropolis 4 to be able to leap to enemy targets and apply Ash Heap, so they are able to rend a little bit of armor, while also obviously repositioning against enemies instead of repositioning to allies. So the Rove can jump to allies, the Cardinal can jump to enemies. That's the way to put it. And the Proselyte can also jump to allies, similar to the Rove, but that unit's a little bit different. So with that landlock coming up, we are going to be getting to a point of, I think something that's going to be pretty interesting actually is whether or not the Pilgrim is not going to actually scout the Atreus, but maybe, because this idol attacked. So if this idol did damage, it would be revealed, and it would reveal the units around there. So Krankendau might be aware of what's going on, and he's going to be going for that Gauntlet, which is going to allow him access to Vickers from the Radix and a few other units. We'll see how soon he goes for anything more than that. I do like the Vassal from George. I think flying Vassal across to heckle the worker line and bring some missionaries around or whatever, at the very least you can get a good scout off with it without having to wait for your witness to finish. And his embassy is coming up, but the Vassal can get there sooner. Cypher, this kind of communicates to me that Krankendau wants to go to Tier 2. Maybe a little bit of a Gambit, maybe a little bit of a Rush. He has the one Grandstand, he has some Cardinals. I don't think he's going to be under any duress from any move out anytime soon. Atreus is coming up. Already have 3 of them. New model by Balethal as well. And probably going to get some adjustments to the animations here and there as time goes on. Oh, he canceled out the Cypher to make a Cosmoscope. Is this going to be a second one? He's actually got a lot of minerals, not a lot of gas. So we'll see what he ends up wanting to do with that. The Cosmoscope got a little bit cheaper, and so did the function. And all the production structures got a little bit less time expensive for Tier 1. So that's part of what was shifted around for the Ascozy. A lot of things were shifted around, you know, like impact dissipation blocks an attack and then goes on cooldown for 2 seconds instead of what it was doing previously. So it's a little bit, it's not about healing, it's more about like, you know, impact dissipation, impact absorption. Expansion coming now, the Vassal is going to get cleared. All it scouts is the expansion, so not a lot of intel there for Frank's opponent. At the very least, the Witness can maybe pile it over pretty soon now. But he's probably worried about, you know, a Chantry walkover, right? Another cancellation from Krankendau, a little bit of indecision, it feels like, as the Cypher gets put down up in the top right. Maybe that was just a placement of the Cypher. He might have built that, or maybe he was intentionally, you know, building a Radix and then decided against it. But either way, second Grand Library. We're actually making a third Grand Library after the expansion. George really committing to the Atreus bit. If I was trying to advise Ascosia to play how to play against the Atreus, I do actually, I'm trying to think about, like, you know, 240 effective health with the armor and the shields. You know, what do you really do against something like that? And actually, it does prove to be a little bit of a unique effort, right? Because you probably do need to build something that can outmaneuver them or outrange them. And it is a while before you really get to that. You might need to, like, really bum rush out some... I don't know if Thaumaturgs would be particularly good against them. I don't know. I'm not really sure what he's going to do with the Cosmoscopes yet. He actually hasn't made anything with them, so that's a little interesting. The Cypher is now complete. Power built by 5 workers. 2 ink plots coming. Okay. I mean, I theorized maybe you could go ink blot and then be like, okay, now with ink blot, I can land on the Atreus and then see what I can do there. But I don't know. I'm not sure that would be good enough. I think, realistically speaking, you know, having the ability to have, like, Cardinal Aphorist or something with the Prosceniums coming up could very well be some kind of answer, because then you have, like, the Armor Shred and the Aphorist being able to splash a very considerable amount of damage versus the general Protoss army. But the Atreus is pretty mobile and pretty big, so splash isn't super good against it. That's why I'm a little hesitant about stuff like that. He's going to scoop 2 Atreuses, doing an Atreus drop. Now that is avant-garde. What does he want to put in next to it? Cantavus? 2 Atreus and a Cantavus Psystorm drop? That could be pretty baller. Right about now, this has been a very low-action game, that's for sure. Very much a podcast game where I'm talking to you guys about the, you know, some of the things that are coming down the pike, some of the ideas that we have for community events, but what are we really doing here? Is he... Okay, he's quad Atreus dropping. I wish these ink plots were in position to intercept that. You can hijack transports, you get their contents, so pretty good. But yeah, I don't think Krankendau's going to have any idea that this is incoming. This is a very bad timing for him to move out as well. Let's see how quickly he ends up coming back. Very little bit slow in the reaction there. Didn't even notice that the Atreuses were even in the position. So that's going to be a lot of dead workers as the Atreus try to come back in and figure them out. So it looks like he went for the Envoy as well as one of the... oh yeah, he has gone for the Atreuses. So these should be given over to Krankendau, at least a couple of them. And did he take the Envoy? No, I guess not. I'm not sure what happened there. So he ends up keeping 1 Atreus. He lost all 4 of his ink plots, I believe. Unless some of these got pulled back and they were damaged. Yeah, he wants to get the Envoy if he can. That makes sense. Worker count obviously still in favor of Krankendau because George doesn't know how to macro. And he is playing a race without Larva, so that's a real double whammy. Fuck it, dude. Just make the Atreus. He has a lot of units. I mean, he's really indexed into heavy military, where, like, Krankendau's been trying to expand earlier and then go into tech, and then he's made Cosmoscopes, but all he's made out of it is ink blots, which is kind of interesting. I mean, I could buy it. Hijack is a pretty powerful ability. When the unit that you hijacked dies, you get your ink block back as well, so it's kind of an interesting little feature of it. Third base mineral only here for George. Need a little bit more Vespene for the Atreus than he used to, so might not be the best move, but he's got a huge float anyway, so not the hugest of deals. A lot of his structures being pretty idle as well. Yeah, I think with this critical mass of 11 Atreuses with more behind it and more Grand Libraries coming, of course, he is trying to make a point, I think. Yeah, I feel like with Krankendau's army here... Oh, I didn't even guess the colors, right? This is Alice Blue for George, and then this is Dark Bronze for Krankendau. There you go. Color guesses. Ah! The Witness providing intel. So there are some Aphorists here. We do need to get those... oh, yeah. You can see him trying to clone onto them, but the Atreus just kind of shoots him down. Good pull on the Vicar on the right-hand side. And you can see the Cardinals applying some of that armor shred. But the Atreuses are running forward, and there's nothing to really slow them down. The Vicars are trying. Oh, the Inkblot actually just kind of sold them down the river. The Vicars attacked the Witness that was detected by the Inkblot. and did a bunch of friendly splash damage. Still, that was a really nice attack from Krankendau. The flank on the right-hand side distracted a lot of units, and he is going to be able to get this Nexus almost assuredly. I love that he went for the Cardinal jump onto the Scribes to get the Nexus to lose some armor there as well. That was really nifty. And the Golems are going to go down. We only have 4 Atreus's remaining. It does look like the Vicars have been a pretty good choice there. You can also desync projectiles out of their travel paths and basically like dodge them or jump out of their way. And so that's another effectiveness of the Blink. But we are almost out of ink blots, right? 1 ink blot here. You know, you could try to snipe that Witness if you knew it was there. There's more ink blots where that came from. We've got Vicars and looks like, do we have any tech development behind this? Does not look to be the case. Yeah, there's no, I mean, there's a third base for gas, but there's no development on the side of like a bestiary and then anything else after that, right? So I'm really a little bit concerned about why George is walking around with 3 Atreuses. I guess he's going to catch some Pilgrims in transition, but surely these just get stolen by the Inkblots. If the unit takes fatal damage while being hijacked by an Inkblot, it will just finish the hijack. So I don't know if Crank's aware of that, but yeah, it looks like he is just going to go ahead and try to take over. Yeah, they just barely die on the case of 1, but then the other 2 are taken. So the Inkblot, rather, just barely dies in 1 case. So the hijack is complete. Got a couple of Atreuses yourself. I feel like that actually could be super powerful for the Skozi army. He's just made another horde of Atreuses. I guess if he doesn't move out, the engagement could definitely favor him. How does the Skozi actually break you in this position when you've dumped all of your military spending into tier 2 and try to like power up on that? Good cancel there from George. He's making 5 Atreuses a pop. So he's no joke, right? Like, this is a pretty powerful set of units here. I don't really like this particular engagement. And also, the Inkblots are serving a purpose, which is to, you know, if any of the units get stolen, that's actually a really big benefit for the Skozi player, because it's going to make them shoot the stolen unit. But also, if any of the units get, even if they don't, the Inkblots are distracting all of the Atreuses. So that ended up being a lot better for Crank than I thought it was going to be, because he was not surrounding him in that way. I mean, George came out a little bit, but that was a much, you know, it makes sense to me why George ends up winning that fight. The army is a little bit lackluster now. The Bestiary is coming out. This is scary. Where's the rest of the army? He's got some Vicars out. The Inkblots need to definitely get out of dodge. Try to jump on top of the Atreus stack there. And yeah, again, just try to distract him from a couple of shots. But it's looking kind of rough right now for Krankendau's survivability. I feel like he missed a macro cycle at some point, but he might not have. You know, this is just a feeling I have. And yeah, the Aphorists are going to really struggle versus the armor. Here comes some Inkblots. I love the Pilgrim also trying to help out where it can. The hijack is in. That's going to slow individual Atreuses down, but yeah. I don't know if it's going to be quite enough. 3 more Atreuses arrive. And behind this, Krankendau only on 2 Radix production with a little bit of a float. I can see the struggle. I'm seeing what Krankendau is trying to deal with. It's like, how the hell do I kill these units efficiently? Without any Cardinals, the Aphorists are not nearly as good. And then without the Vicars to deal damage through armor, then you're not going to be able to really do any damage to them. But your Prosceniums can't make the Aphorists. I mean, they can make Aphorists, but they can't make the Vicars, right? So you're in a really rough spot. You can see him trying to focus down 1 Atreus so that the hijack kicks in a little bit better. And that actually does turn the tide a little bit. He's just ignoring the Golem as best he can, but yeah. I don't think this is quite going to work out for him. I think he needs some fire support. He's going to make some Doran but I don't think they're going to have anything that they can shoot that can shoot while the Doran are busy, you know what I mean? So this is looking pretty rough. Here come the Doran out. They are doing their best to deal with the Golem first, which is maybe not the best choice. Grandstands are maybe split off here. The Doran certainly are. And Krankendau is going to go ahead and call GG based on that. Getting his Bestiary taken apart as we speak. So, yeah, 14.5 minutes of pure Atreus nonsense. Very, very thematic, very interesting. I will say, I think Cardinal Vicar is enough by itself that probably would handle that situation. But Skozi are in a weird spot of development right now as a meta where they don't really know when to turn on a 1-base or 2-base all-in type deal. Like, that feels very weak because the transition point is almost non-existent. And nobody wants to do, like, everybody wants to believe that, that because Zerg can do like a 6 pool and then try to do a macro build as a follow-up, that like, well, there's no such thing as an all-in build. But there is such a thing as an all-in build. I prove it every time I play, and it works sometimes. So maybe that's something that they could probably try at some point. That being said, George played a very silly build. It's a new unit. Krankendau doesn't know how to play against it very much. It's very new, and he's also playing on an unfamiliar race. That being said, I will also be looking at this particular matchup, and I do think that the Atreus, in that particular case, and in some of the other cases I'm seeing it perform in, maybe a little bit above where I'm actually looking for. One thing that I thought about was maybe removing its air attack, because then it's only good against ground. But also I think if it's doing really well against armored targets, that's a different story than doing really well against the swarms that it's supposed to be able to handle as an anti-pool tool, in theory, for the Protoss if they want to go that route. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another Cosmonic cast, because this game has so many more games for me to cast, I'll never be done. GG.